You can see there's more brown stuff and the water's not looking very nice. And then there's another thing that the devil will tell you to do, right? The devil will tell you to be mean, right? And what that means is that when you're at school, at home, and you're either with your brother or sister, or you're with your friend, and are you playing with your brand new Lego, or you building a puzzle, and they want to come and join you or play a game with you, and you just won't let them, then you're being mean, right? You're not being very nice. You're not letting them play with you. And what happens is we're listening to the devil again when we're mean. And now we're taking this jar and we're filling it again. Because what happens is when we do that, we get filled again with icky, yucky, brown stuff. Right? Then the devil tells us again. What does he tell us? The devil will tell us to lie, right? To tell a lie. Now what happens is if your mom and dad have asked you, did you brush your teeth before you go to bed or in the morning before you have to go to school, and you say yes, but you didn't, that is a lie, right? And when we lie, what happens is we're listening to the devil again, because the devil tells us to lie, right? So then we take another spoon of this yucky, ugly brown stuff, and we put it in that jar that is us, and you can see that the water is not looking very nice, right? Now it's looking brown, and it's not looking very attractive, and I don't think anybody wants to drink or even touch this water, right? And the last thing that the devil could tell us to do is to be naughty, right? And I'm sure most of you would know what that means when you're naughty. Naughty is also when mommy and daddy tell you, please will you go and bath, or will you quickly go and help your dad or your mom or something, and then what you do is instead of helping your parents, or instead of going to bath, you'll sit and watch TV, or you'll run and hide, and that means that you're being naughty, right? You're not listening, you're not doing what you've been told to do. So when you're naughty, what happens? We're listening to the devil once again, and then we fill ourselves with this ugly, yucky, brown stuff. And as you guys can see, after you've listened to the devil, look at what happens inside you. Look at what it becomes. It becomes dirty, ugly water, and nobody wants to drink it and nobody wants to touch it, right? But now, we're going to use this jar, and this jar is what happens when you listen to God, right? So I told you about stealing, right? What's the opposite of stealing? If you don't steal, people trust you, right? So I'm going to show you here. Teacher Nadine, just hold that. Can put that down. I'm going to put this paper here. I want to show you guys. What I have here is noodles in the shape of words. So I'm going to write here. If you do what God tells you to do, instead of stealing, people will trust you, right? And it's a T and an R, a U, and an S, and a T, right? So instead of stealing, we have people trust us because they know we won't take their stuff. So what happens is, I have a packet of sweets here, right? Yummy sweets of different colors. And when we listen to God, what happens is, this is us, this is the jar, and we fill it with sweets, nice, good things. Okay, then the opposite of fighting, right? What does God say? Instead of fighting, we must be good. No, wait, sorry. Instead of fighting, we must love each other. So, how do we spell love? We have an L, then we have an O, we have a V, and then lastly, we have an E, right? And that spells love. So instead of fighting, we must love each other because that's what God tells us to do. Now, when we listen to God, what happens? This is our jar, and this is what God does. He fills us with sweets, with yummy, good things, right? Okay, then I told you that the devil tells us to be mean. But what does God tell us to be? God tells us to be kind, right? And that is a K, an I, an N, and a D for kind. Instead of being mean, God tells us to be kind. So when we listen to God, what happens again? This is our jar, and God fills us with more sweet and more yummy things, right? The next one is a lie, right? The devil tells us to lie, but what does God tell us to do? God tells us to be honest, right? So here we go. We have an H, we have an O, we have an N, we have an E, we have an S, and then we have a T, and that is for honest. So instead of lying, we must be honest, right? And then when we listen to God and we're honest, what happens is our jar gets filled once again with a nice, yummy sweet. And you see that's starting to look nice, right? A lot more attractive than the other jar. Then, lastly, the devil told us to be naughty, right? But what does God tell us to be? God tells us to be good, right? So that's a G, an O, another O, and a D for good. So instead of being naughty, God tells us to be good. So when we decide that we're going to be good and listen to God, what does He do? He fills us with another sweet. And now you can see this. This is what happens when you listen to the devil, and this is what happens when you listen to God. And you can see, when we listen to God, our jar's nice and clean, it has sweeties, it tastes good, it looks good, it's colorful. And that's why it's better to listen to God than the devil. Because we don't want to be like this, we want to be like that. So I hope that you can all understand, and that all of you are going to go and you're going to listen to God, and you're going to be all these things instead of what the devil tells you to do. So now that that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to play a song for you. So if you can do that, and then what we're going to do you want to join? We're going to use sparklers here. I'm going to play the song. Yeah. Teacher Nadine's going to play the song for us. Yeah, I'm giving Sandy a sparkler, my mom, Teacher Nadine. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Creep in the dark, here comes to blow out all your lights. Doesn't want you telling everybody that Jesus lives alright. Let your light shine, whoa, let your light shine, whoa. Let your light shine and let Jesus shine through you. Giant fears are really small, and all you see is God. Don't be afraid to stand up tall and give a great big shout. Let your light shine, whoa. Let your light shine, whoa. Let Jesus shine through you. Scared? I'm not scared. I'm gonna let my light shine. I'm gonna let my light shine. You're not scared. You're not scared. You're gonna let your light shine. You're gonna let your light shine. Scared? We're not scared. We're gonna let our light shine. Lord, Jesus is Lord, and He's gonna let His light shine. Are you ready? Light shine. Whoa, let your light shine. Whoa, let your light shine and let Jesus shine through you. Shine. Whoa, let your light shine. Whoa, let your light shine and let Jesus shine through you. Okay. Thank you guys. And don't forget to let your light shine and to listen to Jesus. Oh, yes. You can do it very good.
That's like a man.
That was excellent.